Garam dan terang, dua hal yang melambangkan dampak. Garam kecil seringkali tidak terlihat mata, namun memberi rasa. Ia melarutkan dirinya hingga tak terlihat untuk memberikan dampak bagi sekelilingnya. Terang menyinarkan cahaya. Membuat keindahan terlihat dan nyata. Menyingkapkan kebenaran dan menuntun setiap orang di jalannya. Menjadi garam berarti setia dalam mengerjakan panggilan, sekalipun tidak seorang pun melihatnya. Menjadi terang berarti berani menyuarakan kebenaran, sekalipun harus menghadapi segala resiko dan tantangan.
BPK Panabra Jakarta adalah lembaga pendidikan milik Gereja Kristen Indonesia Sinode Wilayah Jawa Barat yang berdiri pada tahun 1950 dan saat ini mengelola 80 sekolah dengan lebih dari 32.000 peserta didik. Kami memiliki program pendidikan yang holistik, tidak hanya fokus pada akademik, tetapi juga pengembangan creativity, critical thinking and doing, collaboration, communication, serta penerapan nilai-nilai Kristiani agar mereka tidak hanya sukses dalam hidup, tetapi juga menjadi garam dan terang bagi kemuliaan Tuhan.
Perintah Tuhan untuk menjadi garam dan terang menjadi dasar kami melangkah, membangun pendidikan Kristen unggul dalam iman, ilmu, dan pelayanan. Iman dalam Kristus menjadi landasan utama.
Saya bersyukur dan bangga menjadi bagian dari keluarga besar BPK Panabra Jakarta, tempat di mana saya berkarya, mengembangkan diri, serta bertumbuh dalam iman. BPK Panabra Jakarta memiliki organisasi yang kuat, manajemen dan budaya yang baik, serta lingkungan kerja yang menyenangkan.
Ilmu kami tumbuhkan sesuai dengan talenta yang dikaruniakan Tuhan bagi mereka. Pelayanan menjadi wujud syukur atas anugerah Tuhan agar kami bisa menjadi saluran berkat bagi sesama. Melalui iman, ilmu, dan pelayanan, kami ingin melahirkan generasi yang best. Be tough, excel worldwide, share with society, dan trust in God. Inilah tekad kami, dan semuanya berawal di sini, di BPK Panabra.
The digital world is an exciting place of dreams, creativity, and connections. But it is also a place that can bring stress, sorrow, and destruction. Information and identities can be stolen. Violence and pornography are common, and bullying and shaming can be so cruel. Kids today grow up looking more at screens than faces. So what is the solution? DQ, or Digital Intelligence Quotient, is the collection of social, emotional, and cognitive abilities that enable individuals to deal with the challenges and demands of digital life. DQ starts with 8 core digital citizenship skills: digital citizen identity, screen time management, cyberbullying management, cybersecurity management, digital empathy, digital footprint management, critical thinking, privacy management. Beyond knowledge, these abilities must be rooted in human values of integrity, respect, empathy, and prudence. So how do we guide a child to acquire these skills and values to be empowered users of technology? DQ World is an online and mobile learning platform to empower children to self-learn their DQ, to become future-ready, smart, and responsible digital citizens through fun and educational lessons. Our comprehensive research-backed platform follows the story of characters through a series of missions that includes animated videos, chats, comics, interactive slides, games, sticker making, and quizzes designed just for children to help strengthen their DQ. As they complete each mission, children will earn points and level up to earn DQ badges, cards, and virtual coins. Upon completion of all the missions, children will receive a DQ score based on the 8 core digital citizenship skills. Parents can then receive a DQ report showing their child's DQ score, comparisons to national and global averages, areas of strengths and weaknesses, and recommendations to help parents better mediate their child's digital usage. Teachers can also receive a DQ school report that shows their overall student body's DQ and help identify children at risk to enable effective intervention. At its heart, DQ World is based on values and skills which equip a child for life so that even as the technology changes, their ability to manage digital media and navigate life online endures. DQ World gives kids the foundation to thrive online, to have power over technology, to use it safely and confidently, and to have respect for themselves and others as digital citizens. DQ World believes in a healthy and secure digital education ecosystem. But nurturing the next generation takes a village. We work together with an alliance of parents, schools, NGOs, universities, corporates, governments, and international organizations. Through school visits, exhibits, and an online platform, we attempt to reach out to all kids, whether through the digital world or in person. Empower every child with DQ. Start now at dqworld.net.
Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu yang terkasih. Terima kasih sudah hadir pada acara webinar pada pagi ini. Sebelum mengawali webinar kita, mari kita menyatukan hati dan pikiran kita memohon pimpinan dan pertolongan Tuhan. Mari kita berdoa. Kami mengucapkan syukur kepadamu Tuhan atas hari baru pemberian-Mu. Kami mengucapkan syukur kepadamu Tuhan atas istirahat yang boleh kami nikmati pada hari kemarin. Pagi ini kami sebagai orang tua murid akan mengikuti webinar yang diselenggarakan oleh BPK Panabra Jakarta, yaitu webinar on Digital Intelligence. Kami bersyukur kepadamu Tuhan atas kehadiran Dr. Park yang akan menjadi narasumber. Mohon Tuhan berkati agar beliau dapat menyampaikan paparannya dengan baik, dan kami sebagai orang tua dapat menyerap dan pada akhirnya kami praktikkan di dalam mendidik anak-anak kami, sehingga mereka dapat mempergunakan teknologi ini dengan baik, dengan cerdas. Berkati untuk seluruh perlengkapan yang kami pergunakan agar dapat berfungsi dengan baik, dengan normal. Kami menyerahkan seluruh rangkaian acara untuk webinar pada hari ini dalam pimpinan dan pertolongan Tuhan saja. Pakailah kami seturut dengan kehendak-Mu Bapa, dan ampuni untuk semua salah dan dosa yang kami lakukan. Inilah doa dan permohonan kami yang jauh dari sempurna. Kami minta dan alaskan hanya di dalam Tuhan kami, Yesus Kristus. Amin.
Hello everyone, to all our parents, guests, school officials, and friends watching us on YouTube and online. Good morning and welcome to Digital Quotient Parents Webinar 2022, brought to you by BPK Panabra Jakarta. My name is Carl and I will be your host for today. For our opening speech, may we call in our BPK board member, Pa Anning.
Oke, thank you Mr. Carl. Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu semua, orang tua, papi mami yang sedang mendengarkan acara webinar Digital Intelligence di YouTube. Terima kasih untuk waktu yang sudah diluangkan untuk bisa mendengarkan acara ini. Pada hari ini kita akan mendengarkan webinar yang baik mengenai Digital Intelligence dengan tema How Should I Control My Child's Use of Technology. Hari ini kita akan ditemani oleh narasumber Dr. Park selaku founder dari Digital Quotient. Kiranya acara ini bisa memberikan kami semua sebagai orang tua sebuah ilmu yang baik sehingga kita semua bisa memperlengkapi diri dalam mendidik anak-anak kita di era digital ini, di mana hampir seluruh kehidupan kita bersentuhan dengan teknologi. Kita akan sama-sama mendengarkan penjelasan lebih lanjut pada webinar kali ini. Terima kasih, Tuhan Yesus memberkati.
Thank you so much, Pa Enning, for that wonderful message. Today, as mentioned by Pa Enning, friends, we have invited a very credible, inspiring guest speaker to talk about our topic for this morning. The founder of DQ Global Standards for Digital Literacy, Skills, and Readiness, Dr. Yuhyun Park. To know more about her, let's watch this.
Dr. Yuhyun Park is a world-leading expert in digital skills and child online safety. She created the Digital Intelligence or DQ concept and framework, which is the world's first global standards and a common framework for digital literacy, skills, and readiness, IEEE 3527.1, which was endorsed by the IEEE Standards Association, OECD, and World Economic Forum in 2018. Dr. Park developed the Child Online Safety Index, the world's first real-time metric tracker, to help nations understand their children's online safety status, and leads the #DQEveryChild initiative, a global digital citizenship movement for children. In addition, she has been serving in various international leadership positions related to digital economy, skills, and safety, including as the leader of the Equals ITU Digital Skills Coalition, the chair of TikTok Safety Advisory Council AP, and the international lead for digital economy in the G20 Civil Society 2020. She also serves as an adjunct professor at Yonsei University and a board member at Future Consensus Institute in South Korea. She has received several international awards, including recognition as a World Economic Forum Young Global Leader, Ashoka Fellow, Eisenhower Fellow, and multiple UNESCO prizes. She co-authored the Dictionary for Economics, which is the most widely used dictionary for economics in Korea. Her academic experiences include serving as an adjunct professor at Yonsei University in Korea and as a director at Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. Dr. Park completed her PhD degree and postdoctoral studies in biostatistics at Harvard University.
Wow. I know that everyone is excited about this webinar. Those were very impressive achievements, Dr. Park. It just makes me more excited about what we're going to talk today. Now, I know all of you are too, those who are watching online. So together with our speaker, we have Miss Angela who will help interpret the message in Bahasa Indonesia, so it is good for everyone. Everybody, let us all welcome Dr. Yuhyun Park. Ma'am, the time is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yuhyun Park. Since the video was echoed, I heard my credential twice and I feel like, oh, who is this person? Thank you very much for this invitation to this wonderful event. I'm a mother of 2 children. My son is now 15 and my daughter is 13. So I believe that we are going to talk about the digital parenting today, but I want to actually share with you about, my also personal struggles, and also why I developed the digital standard, a digital intelligence standard. It's for also my kids as well. So I hope that today's talk is more interactive rather than me giving a lecture. Angela?
Dr. Yuhyun Park juga mempunyai anak berusia 8 dan juga 10 tahun. Karena itu hari ini Dr. Yuhyun Park ingin berbagi kepada kita semua sehingga kita bisa mengerti, memahami mengapa beliau menciptakan standar digital intelligence ini dan kenapa itu penting buat anak-anak kita sekarang.
Okay, so do you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Dr. Thank you.
great. So, okay. So today I want to talk about the 3 topics before we seriously talking about the parenting. So why we need to think about standard, not just about Indonesia's standard. Why do we need the global standard? And second thing I want to talk about, okay, so we never heard about citizenship in the digital world. And what is digital citizenship and how does it link with my child's online safety? And then after we have all this understanding, I want to go to what's my child's DQ?
Oke, jadi basically tiga hal ini akan dibicarakan oleh Dr. Yuhyun Park, yaitu yang pertama, mengapa diperlukan standar global, bukan hanya standar dalam skala Indonesia saja, namun secara global untuk kecerdasan digital. Lalu apakah yang dimaksud dengan digital citizenship? Mungkin kita belum pernah mendengar mengenai ini sebelumnya, dan bagaimana ini korelasinya dengan keamanan digital para anak kita. Lalu yang berikutnya, Dr. Yuhyun Park juga akan membahas bagaimana dengan kecerdasan atau standar kecerdasan anak kita.
Okay, so after COVID, I think, Indonesia is the same thing. We are all in the digital transformation, which means, all our interaction no longer offline, it went to online. Even after COVID, we are still in the life that we didn't live in 2 years ago.
COVID sangat berpengaruh pada dunia kita, dan bahkan pada saat itu COVID berakhir, Dr. Yuhyun Park menekankan bahwa seperti yang terjadi di Korea juga, terjadi juga di Indonesia, di seluruh dunia. Lalu dunia yang kita huni sekarang tidak sama dengan dunia 2 tahun yang lalu.
And same with artificial intelligence. All of a sudden you hear a lot of times AI, but we don't even know what is AI and what is that to my children.
Dan seperti halnya dengan perkembangan digital, kita semakin akrab dengan term AI atau artificial intelligence, tapi bagaimana ini koneksinya dengan anak-anak kita?
And metaverse. I don't know whether it is also popular in Indonesia, but as you know, Facebook became Meta, which they think the next version of internet is no longer on the website anymore. It's going to be part of our life, it's like universe. Another beyond universe, metaverse, is already here today.
Oke, dunia kita bukan hanya terbatas dengan dunia yang real saja, tetapi anak-anak juga semakin terpengaruh dengan dunia digital yang akhirnya menjadi semacam reality. Ini ada hubungannya dengan augmented reality juga.
Very nice, Angela. So we all talk about this very new technology with the excitement, and you will hear a lot more terms like smart city, right? Indonesia building the new capital. We talk about smart city a lot, but what does it mean? Literally, we're like moving into the second universe.
Oke, sepertinya kita dibawa ke universe yang berbeda. Misalnya kita mendengar term seperti smart city, tetapi apakah itu second universe atau universe yang berbeda ini seperti apa?
So, think about it. So if you are moving from Indonesia to Singapore, for instance, you're moving to another universe, another city, what is the things that you usually check? Number one, is it safe? Is it safe for my children? Number two, the people over there are ethical, civic. Number three, is it good for my children's education, right? These are the three things that we Asian parents usually must check.
Jika kita berpergian atau jika kita ingin berpindah atau pergi ke suatu negara, tentunya kita akan mengecek 3 hal berikut. Apakah itu aman buat anak-anak kita? Apakah mereka juga... Can you repeat the points again? Sorry, Miss Yuhyun Park. The 3 points. The 3 points.
Yeah. So basically, is it safe for my children? It's good for my children. Yeah.
Apakah itu sungguh-sungguh aman? Apakah itu berpengaruh positif buat anak-anak kita?
Yeah. So basically, are we ready to move the digital world?
Apakah kita sudah siap untuk pindah ke dunia digital tersebut?
So this is video that I had in 2018.
The internet, smartphones, and social media, the impact they have on children is never far from the thoughts of parents and teachers. But are we really facing what some experts call a cyber pandemic? Well, a new report believes we are. It found that over half of 8 to 12-year-olds are exposed to cyber risks, such as cyberbullying, fake news, and online sexual abuse. The number of those at risk rises in countries undergoing rapid digital transformation. 71% in Egypt, the same percentage in Indonesia and in the Philippines. The figure is 73%. And
so, what we can see is, as this is 2018 interview with BBC. It was the first time that we call digital world having a cyber pandemic.
Kembali pada tahun 2018, kami mengidentifikasi adanya cyber pandemic.
So we are not ready to move the digital world.
Ternyata kita memang belum siap untuk berpindah ke dunia digital.
So 2 years later, we again look at the cyber pandemic, and which is very similar to what we observed. Again, about the 60%. So 56% to 60%, it raised up. That include cyberbullying, gaming addiction, social media addiction, risky content, and cyber threats. So you can see that the children's, even before COVID, they're exposed to a lot of cyber risk in the internet.
Bahkan sebelum COVID, para anak-anak kita sangat terpengaruh dengan bahaya internet atau dunia digital. Dan bahkan setelah COVID, resikonya meningkat dari 56 menjadi 60%. Itu termasuk dengan kontak yang beresiko, cyberbullying, social media disorder atau ya ketidaknormalan social media, juga gaming disorder, dan ancaman-ancaman cyber.
So, what you see is that why do you need the global standard? Because we call this cyber pandemic. You know, pandemic means it's actually all around the world. It's surprising news is that this pattern is very similar across different countries in different cultures and with the different languages. So there's no other way to express than cyber pandemic. So it is important to have the standard that actually help children to get over this cyber risk and make cyber risk into opportunity. That's the important future skill we need to give.
Mengingat cyber pandemic ini terjadi di seluruh dunia dan juga menyerang siapa saja, berbagai macam orang tua maupun anak-anak mengalaminya. Karena itu kita butuh suatu solusi standar untuk meningkatkan kemampuan digital anak-anak kita, sehingga mereka lebih siap untuk menghadapi ancaman yang beredar secara online atau digital.
So, but the problem is parents are not ready to. Because first, our generation parents, the first reaction when we are asked about technology, we have a fear. I don't know technology. And people say, a lot of parents say, oh, this is too complex. This is only for smart people, engineers. And they feel also outdated. They think, oh, my children's, my teenagers know much better than me, and there's nothing that I can do about it. That's what a lot of parents feel in that way.
Permasalahannya adalah para orang tua juga tidak siap untuk menghadapi pandemik cyber ini. Banyak di antara mereka mengaku tidak tahu atau merasa bahwa kecerdasan digital atau pengetahuan mengenai itu hanya untuk orang-orang yang pintar saja, dan mereka juga merasa ketinggalan zaman, sehingga meyakini bahwa anak-anak dan juga remaja tahu lebih banyak.
Yeah, but you have to understand, yes, children use more, but that doesn't mean that they know more.
Apa yang perlu dipahami oleh orang tua adalah meskipun anak-anak menggunakannya lebih banyak, tapi belum tentu mereka tahu lebih banyak.
And Facebook and all this social media, a lot of gaming was invented in 2000, after 2007 and more. So if you think about it, it's not, and then this technology is not that old either. They're also young.
Dan teknologi sosial media banyak yang diciptakan atau ditemukan setelah 2007. Karena itu sebenarnya teknologi-teknologi tersebut ataupun sosial media juga usianya belum terlalu tua.
So, and then for children, parents are much more powerful. You're in a much more powerful position than technology.
Dan perlu diingat bahwa sebagai orang tua kita mempunyai kedudukan yang lebih kuat dibandingkan anak-anak kita, dan harusnya kita juga lebih peduli terhadap teknologi.
So, parents, the DQ global standard is to take back your power that you lost to the technology. Get the power. That's the whole point.
Yang terutama adalah kita harus mengambil kembali kekuatan tersebut sehingga kita bisa mengatasi tantangan digital ini bersama-sama.
So how can we take the power? We need to have the new intelligence in this age.
Kuncinya adalah kita perlu untuk mempunyai kecerdasan baru di era artificial intelligence ini.
So what is human being? So let's think about what is intelligence that we need today. And what is human being? So if you think about it, human is basically body, mind, and spirit. Right?
Apakah manusia itu terdiri dari tubuh, jiwa, dan juga semangat, kekuatan?
And if you look back the history, when there's before the first industrial revolution, what did we learn? We learn from parents. If my father was a farmer, I was a farmer. So what does it mean? My my body strength is important.
Bila kita kembali kepada zaman revolusi industri yang pertama, yaitu pada tahun 1700-an, pada saat itu anak-anak lebih belajar dari orang tua mereka dan yang ditekankan adalah tubuh, kekuatan fisik.
So first in the Industrial Revolution, they have a steam, and now they have a machine from the Second Industrial Revolution, and now the machine became stronger than human. So their body strength is no longer important in the society. So when society shifts because of technology, then the society needs the new intelligence, which means IQ. So that was a time IQ was born, because society now needs smart kids instead of strong kids. So that's when the IQ was born.
Pada saat kita bergeser ke revolusi industri yang kedua, pada saat itulah zaman berubah dan tidak lagi yang diperlukan kekuatan fisik. Pada saat itu banyak tercipta mesin-mesin sehingga para orang tua pun harus mengajarkan atau mengejar sesuatu yang baru, yaitu IQ. Karena brain atau minds itu harus lebih penting sekarang kedudukannya daripada fisik.
So body and shift to the mind. The mind knowledge became more important than body strength.
Yang tadinya kita mengandalkan kekuatan fisik di zaman revolusi industri pertama, lalu bergeser ke mind atau ke lebih ke arah kognitif, karena itulah yang diperlukan untuk beradaptasi dengan zaman pada zaman revolusi industri yang kedua.
Okay, then it goes to the third industrial revolution, and when the internet was born and PC was born, and people now no longer factory, they went to office in the city, and the complexity of human interaction has increased. So it is not just about smart kids, and people need kind kids. People need people who know how to interact with others. So that's when the EQ was born.
Pada zaman revolusi industri yang ketiga, yaitu pada tahun 1970-an, internet mulai diciptakan dan orang-orang sudah mulai pergi ke kantor, mereka harus berinteraksi dengan dunia luar. Disitulah lahir yang namanya EQ, Emotional Quotient, karena diyakini bahwa sekarang bukan hanya otak saja yang penting atau kemampuan kognitif saja yang penting, tapi mereka harus juga berelasi dengan rekan-rekan.
So you can see that the shift has been also knowledge to the emotion within the mind. And now we are going into fourth industrial revolution, which means you have AI is smarter than us and kinder than us. So what is left? Body, mind, spirit, and machine became better in body, and machine became better in our mind. What's left? Spirit. I don't know what's actually different people think about spirit in different way. OECD describe it as an agency. Some people think of it as a passion, but I am actually talking about really what's important now is no longer about the memorizing and finding the fact is less important. Knowledge is less important, but wisdom is more important now. About knowing what is right and wrong and making a right decision.
Dengan bergesernya zaman sekarang ke zaman teknologi digital, bukan hanya kita memperhatikan body, mind, maupun emotion, namun kita juga sudah berpindah ke spirit. Bukan hanya intelligence yang important atau yang penting zaman sekarang, tapi kita juga harus memperhatikan wisdom atau kebijaksanaan.
So DQ is really about value, human value. It's not about how well you can do the coding, how well you can do the mobile. It is about how you can become a better human.
DQ atau kecerdasan digital sebenarnya adalah melulu tentang nilai-nilai, bukan hanya sekadar kecerdasan biasa, namun bagaimana kita juga bisa saling menghargai atau saling berinteraksi dengan value yang baik.
So, having this DQ concept, I developed this 8 area of DQ,
which is not just about how to use online and technology well. It is about how you live well in this digitized society. So it looks all around the all aspect of human life in digital. It goes by the identity, use, safety, security, emotional intelligence, communication, literacy, and rights.
Berdasarkan pentingnya digital intelligence ini di zaman digital atau teknologi bagi anak-anak kita, saya telah membagi digital intelligence ke dalam 8 kategori, yaitu digital identity, digital use, digital safety, digital security, digital emotional intelligence, digital communication, digital literacy, and also digital rights.
And then it has the 3 maturity level, which is citizenship. You know how to use technology safely, responsibly, and ethically. So that's how you live online. That's the very first part. And second part is about, okay, now I know how to live online. Then you go to the creativity. You know how to create. So that's where you learn coding, robotics, makers, and all this is the creativity. And third piece is that when you know how to make, you know how to make also money, you know how to make also innovations, you know how to make social impact. That's competitiveness. So it has to be rooted in a moral value. So what we call DQ is, if you think about any skills that you need to really successful in today's life, that's the DQ.
Jika kita memikirkan apa yang penting bagi kita supaya dapat sukses di kehidupan zaman sekarang, kita memerlukan 3 universal moral values berikut ini, yaitu yang pertama, kita tahu bagaimana hidup di universe yang digital, yaitu digital citizenship. Setelah kita tahu bagaimana berinteraksi dengan aman di dalam universe tersebut, lalu kita bisa membangun creativity, kita bisa mengubah ide-ide ini menjadi realita digital. Lalu setelahnya kita juga bisa memanfaatkan digital universe ini menjadi tempat untuk kita mendapatkan uang, semacam itu. Jadi kita juga bisa compete di dalamnya. Bisa entrepreneur, berkembang, dan juga memberi dampak.
Okay. So it became the standard together with OECD World Economic Forum IEEE in 2020. And then what it means is how does it relevant to Indonesia? So you can think of global standard as the reference frameworks. So if Indonesia wants to develop the national digital skills strategy and framework, it can actually either adopt or you can look at it and find the best of it and create your own. But DQ standard is the design to help nations to create your own digital skill frameworks for preparing individual for the future readiness and preparing for nations to achieve the sustainable development goal and economic growth and well-being.
Oke, sebetulnya digital quotient global standards ini dibangun supaya bangsa kita bisa lebih maju lagi di dalam bidang ekonomi, di dalam bidang juga kesejahteraan akan semakin meningkat. Kita bisa terapkan di dalam framework kita masing-masing yang disesuaikan dengan masyarakat Indonesia pada umumnya.
Yeah, but what's actually then, what is the most important thing that you need to teach child? A lot of people that say, oh, I need to teach my children coding for him to get a better job. Yes, that's important. But more important thing is that you need to make them into digital citizen, confident and safe and responsible citizen. And once they have digital citizen, they will have agency to get creativity and competitiveness to thrive in this digital world.
Untuk bisa berjuang atau bertahan di dalam dunia digital, banyak orang tua yang merasa, oke, saya perlu memberikan anak saya coding. Tetapi bukan hanya itu sebenarnya yang dipentingkan. Mereka juga harus bisa memastikan bahwa anak-anak tersebut juga dapat berinteraksi secara aman dan juga secara bertanggung jawab di dalam dunia digital sebelum akhirnya mereka akan bisa membangun kreativitas maupun juga kemampuan untuk berkompetisi di dunia digital tersebut.
So what is this digital citizenship does is that it is the ability to turn risk into opportunities. So you saw that children are exposed to a lot of risk, right? Cyberbullying, online grooming, violent content, fake news, cyber attacks. But having digital citizenship to deal with this, minimize the cyber risk and maximize the potential.
Yang dimaksud dengan mempunyai kewarganegaraan digital adalah di mana kita benar-benar dapat meminimalisir resiko-resiko yang biasa terjadi secara online dan mengubahnya menjadi kesempatan atau opportunities. Kita tahu bahwa anak-anak dihadapkan dengan berbagai tantangan atau ancaman seperti online grooming, cyberbullying, dan juga ancaman-ancaman lainnya. Namun bagaimana caranya kita mendapatkan digital citizenship ini dan juga mengubah resiko tersebut menjadi opportunities atau kesempatan?
Okay, then how does it work? Okay, so children enter into this digital world and they need to know how to discipline their usage. So balancing online and offline life, which means they can turn off the device anytime they need.
Jadi yang pertama adalah kita harus memperhatikan bahwa orang-orang yang beraktivitas secara digital atau anak-anak kita juga harus mampu mengontrol dirinya. Dia harus bisa memanage waktu kapan dia harus mematikan ataupun menghidupkan teknologi atau gadget mereka.
And then they go into the digital world and they need to understand the basic nature of online communications, which means the digital footprint and privacy as their own human right. And then they need to think critically whether this is good for me, this is true or not, this is dangerous or not. So number 3 is they need to think critically. Then they can have a skill of protecting themselves from the risk and threats. And when they know how to protect themselves, they know how to build a healthy relationship with others. That's digital empathy. With all this, they're building their identity as a digital citizen.
Berikutnya yang perlu diperhatikan adalah anak-anak perlu untuk bisa mengenali atau berkomunikasi dengan baik secara online. Dia perlu untuk dapat membangun relasi dan bagaimana harus bertutur kata dengan kesopan santunan. Dan juga dia harus tahu, harus bisa membedakan. Poin yang ketiga adalah dia harus bisa berpikir kritis, apakah sesuatu ini berguna bagi saya untuk atau tidak. Dan setelah mendapatkan pemikiran kritis tersebut, dia juga harus dapat memanfaatkannya untuk bisa berkomunikasi dengan lebih baik lagi di dunia digital.
Okay, so we ran DQ Every Child, the global movement to teach children about this digital citizenship last 4 years. Angela?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, we actually, after we ran this digital citizenship movement, we actually, in 2020, we published the Child Online Safety Index, and Indonesia is not very good score at this moment, which means a good news because it is a starting point and you have a lot to raise up and you will raise up.
Kami mengajukan penelitian pada tahun 2020 dan Indonesia bukan berada pada kedudukan yang cukup baik secara digital intelligence. Berarti kita harus meningkatkannya. Yeah.
This year G20 is in Indonesia, right? And this Child Online Safety Index was recommended to include in a measurement for the digital economy in 2020. And I hope that Indonesia is now championing this. So this is the right year for creating the momentum to promote the child online safety and digital citizenship.
Tahun ini GT Measurement of the Digital Economy bertempat di Indonesia dan saya berharap, Dr. Yuhyun Park berharap untuk Indonesia dapat memanfaatkan momen tersebut untuk mempromosikan pentingnya digital intelligence ini buat anak-anak kita.
So Indonesia, it was in the data from 2020. So you can see that currently education and the parental guidance is very low. And digital citizenship is currently low compared to other countries. And I think this is a great time for us to pick it up. And Indonesia has such a great potential to grow further.
Dikarenakan parental guidelines dan ranking kita yang masih rendah, ranking Indonesia yang masih rendah di dalam kesadaran digital, ini adalah waktu yang tepat buat Indonesia untuk lebih meningkatkan kesadaran digitalnya, sehingga juga dapat meningkatkan kecerdasan digital penduduk Indonesia pada umumnya.
So, then let's move to the parents. So what shall we do? So we understand what is a DQ, why we need a global standard, and even global standard, what is the digital citizenship, which is most important skill for the children. We now know, and we know that Indonesia is a good position to start. Now what shall we do?
Oke. Kita tahu bahwa Indonesia itu perlu bergerak. Lalu bagaimana? Apakah yang harus kita lakukan, terutama sebagai orang tua?
So this is very important. Parents, let's the standard in our family.
Oke. Yang paling penting adalah orang tua, kita harus menetapkan standar di dalam keluarga kita.
So when we set the standard, we can help children to go to the blue side, not red side. So they will use the technology in a wise way, who can make a right decision, and we can actually help them to foster their family value through the technology and enhance the future readiness, and then they can have a good future.
Kalau kita menetapkan standar di dalam keluarga kita, kita bisa menuntun anak-anak kita ke bagian atau daerah yang biru, bukan yang merah, yaitu secara bijaksana menggunakan teknologi. Kita juga lebih menekankan nilai-nilai kekeluargaan di dalam keluarga kita. Kita lebih yang kemudian akan berujung pada kemampuan mereka untuk menghadapi masa depan dan juga untuk jenjang karir mereka akan semakin meningkat.
So I see that how can we control our use of technology as a title, but I want to change the language. How can we empower our children's digital use, which means digital parenting, we have to shift our mind. It is not about control, it is more about empowerment. So they become independent thinker, independent digital citizen, who can make a right decision to minimize the risk and maximize their potential.
Kita harus mengubah cara pandang kita. Digital parenting bukan hanya sekadar mengontrol anak-anak kita, namun kita juga lebih ke arah memberikan power atau empower, memberdayakan mereka supaya mereka menjadi pribadi yang mandiri, dapat mengambil keputusan yang bijaksana, mereka bisa meminimalisir resiko-resiko yang mereka hadapi dan juga menjadi digital citizen yang baik.
So I want to share 3 parenting principles. So first, you want to set the boundary. This is very important. You need to set the rule in your house, and you need to you need to talk to your children about what you believe about your family value and principle. This is very first thing. So that is number 1. You set the boundary. And then number 2, you need to engage in their digital life, right? And number 3, you need to build a network outside. That means you need to know who your parents and their teachers are. And you need to know if there is a necessary, you need to know external counselors or also your extended family. So there's a cool uncle who can talk to your children about their digital life when there's a problem. So this is the 3 things that you have to keep in mind. Set the boundary, you engage, and build also an external network.
Ada 3 prinsip digital parenting yang sangat penting. Yang pertama, we set the boundary atau menetapkan batas-batas. Kita mengajarkan peraturan-peraturan dan juga nilai-nilai keluarga kita kepada anak-anak kita supaya kita bisa memastikan proteksi atau keamanan mereka. Yang kedua, kita harus terlibat, kita harus engage, terlibat di dalam penggunaan digital anak-anak kita. Dan yang ketiga, juga tidak kalah pentingnya, kita perlu untuk mempunyai relasi di luar keluarga kita sendiri. Mungkin itu bersama dengan guru, mungkin bersama dengan konselor eksternal, atau bisa juga extended family atau dari keluarga besar kita. Mungkin paman dan juga bibi dari anak-anak kita, sehingga mereka pun punya seseorang yang bisa mereka temui di saat mereka membutuhkan guidance.
Okay, with that 3 principles that in mind and 10 things that you want to think about, 10 rules. So first is within the family, setting the boundary. Number 1 is rule. When, how much, and also what media content they have to watch, enjoy, you have to set the rule. Number 2, most of digital media, they're illegal until 13 years old. You need to ensure whether your child is ready to use social media and devices. Don't give it up that easily. Number 3, you need to have the mechanism to mutually approve. It applies to you as well. Don't put the photo of your child just without the consent. And at the same time, your children also need your approval in certain activity. So these 3 things that you have to remember to set the boundary. And another 3 things, how can you engage with your children? Number 1, basic. You have to know how to talk to your children about online safety. You need to know what they do online. You need to talk with them. Number 2, this is a bit advanced, but it is important for the older kids. Family boundary is especially important for the younger kids, but engagement is more important for the older kids, teenagers. You need to learn how to talk with them in active mediation format, which means you need to ask them a question about how they can think critically about this digital content, which is actually another huge hours of the talk shop to discuss about it. This is advanced skill. So you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 first. 5th is also advanced skill, is about you have to help them to understand about their emotions and how to deal with it. 4 and 5, honestly, it is advanced skill. And this is something that we need to have an in-depth discussion. But 1, 2, 3, 4, make sure you have. And then last 4 is about how you build on your environment to ensure. So family tech use. A lot of parents don't know how many devices you have, and also how many devices your children have. And also when they use the devices. So this is like checking your household. It's like checking inventory. Know how to use what devices using, when they're using. Those are the tech use. Number 2, you need to have the knowledge in order to talk with your children. So you need to understand basic of technology impact on children. Number 3 is most important and something that you can do right away, 1 and 3, which is the support network. So ensure that, when your child do not want to talk to you, you need someone else to talk to them, not online stranger, someone you can trust. So it can be your sister, your brother, it can be your extended family, it can be your grandmother and their grandmother and your parents. But if you think there's an issue in your child, you need to know you have to seek the help in professional counselors or professional mental doctor. And importantly, engage with teachers. And number 10, most important thing, you need to build a trust. This is very important. So this is more important. Trust building is much more powerful protection than filtering, filtering app. So this is a part that you have to remember about 10 things to do within your household.
Ada 10 peraturan digital parenting yang kita perlu ketahui dan juga perlu ingat bersama-sama. Ya, 3 yang pertama, family media boundary, ini paling penting khususnya buat yang mempunyai anak-anak yang masih kecil. Pertama, family media rule. Kita harus bisa memastikan batas-batasan yang akan kita terapkan buat anak-anak kita. Kapan, berapa lama, how much they can use their device, gitu. Dan juga dengan siapa saja dia bisa berinteraksi. Kita juga harus memastikan bahwa mereka ready untuk menggunakan teknologi tersebut. Karena ada batasan-batasan umur, dan kita juga harus bisa mengetahui apa saja yang di search oleh anak-anak ini secara online. Juga parents diperlukan mutual approval. Dalam hal ini adalah kita juga membutuhkan approval atau consent dari anak-anak kita. Bukan hanya anak-anak kita yang membutuhkan, bukan hanya kita yang memberikan consent buat anak-anak kita, tapi juga kita tidak boleh melakukan sesuatu yang mungkin melanggar hak mereka. Seperti misalnya posting foto-foto mereka secara online, padahal kita tidak meminta persetujuan mereka. Seperti itu juga tidak disarankan. Parental engagement itu penting terutama buat anak-anak remaja khususnya. Cyber safety conversation, jadi kita usahakan untuk bisa terbuka dengan anak-anak kita usahakan untuk mereka juga bisa share. Kita harus meneliti dan mengetahui bagaimana mereka berinteraksi secara online. Skill-skill berikutnya seperti advanced active mediation dan socio-emotional growth ini adalah skill advance dan memerlukan perbincangan lebih jauh, tapi ini juga bisa kita usahakan untuk anak-anak kita. Yang paling penting adalah kita mempunyai support network. Jadi jikalau anak-anak kita mungkin enggan atau tidak ingin selalu berbagi dengan kita, mungkin mereka memiliki orang di luar sana yang mereka bisa share dengan lebih nyaman, misalnya dengan paman mereka, dengan oma, opa, kakek, nenek, ataupun jikalau mereka juga memiliki mentor atau teachers atau guru-guru, kita harus pastikan bahwa kita memiliki support network tersebut. Yang paling penting di atas semuanya adalah kita membangun kepercayaan dengan anak-anak kita.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's a long one. Okay. So, and then the last 10 minutes, I want to discuss about okay, this sounds all good, but how can I do this, right? This is so difficult, right? You learn about the 8 digital citizenship skill that your children needs to have. Also, you need to have as well. And then on top of that, you actually learn about 10 different parenting. So many things that you have to understand, and how can I do it? So this is DQ World is designed to help you for this digital parenting. DQ World is not just about the education tool. Actually, it was developed as a research tool in Singapore when I work at the NTU, Nanyang Technological University. So this is actually designed to help children to learn digital citizenship program by themselves with the minimal intervention of teachers and parents. I'll stop here.
Oke, jadi bagaimana apa yang harus kita lakukan untuk bisa kita membantu kita untuk meningkatkan kemampuan digital ini? Kami memiliki program, online programs yang namanya DQ World. Ini aslinya dibangun di Singapura dulu. Lalu ini fungsinya untuk memfasilitasi kecerdasan digital yang perlu untuk anak-anak kita miliki. Namun kita juga sebagai parents juga perlu untuk memilikinya. Nah, ini dapat meminimalisir intervensi yang berlebihan mungkin dari orang tua maupun guru.
So, if you want to teach your children, you cannot teach all. You can just have them to just go on to DQ. It looks like a comics. We designing that intentionally, even though it was a research project, because we want them to learn by themselves through the animation, story, and a more interactive way.
Jadi bentuknya ini seperti komik supaya didesain dengan sengaja supaya memberikan kenyamanan untuk anak-anak supaya mereka bisa lebih belajar dengan cara yang interaktif dan fun.
So I will skip this part, but this is actually one of the world best program that shows the effectiveness of the learning, and it has been intensively researched through the top researchers around the world. So this is a program you can trust that you can put your children in. So I will skip this part, but you can translate.
Okay. Dr. Yuhyun Park tidak akan membahas terlalu jauh mengenai hal-hal tersebut. Namun jikalau orang tua mungkin ingin menggunakan, ini adalah media yang sudah diakui dan banyak terbukti di dalam research sudah dibahas bahwa mereka mampu untuk sungguh-sungguh nanti meningkatkan kemampuan digital buat anak-anak yang menggunakan.
So what's actually important in the DQ world is that it actually asks a lot of questions, research questions within there. So after, when children completed it, they get the DQ score. So this is very much designed for parents to understand about their digital citizenship, and then also their level of the risk exposure. And we also give the parental tips to how to talk to your children align with the digital parenting principle.
Di keyword ini menanyakan banyak sekali pertanyaan sehingga bisa diperlukan atau menghasilkan measurement yang lebih tepat atau mungkin lebih akurat di dalam mengukur kecerdasan digital. Di keyword juga dapat mengidentifikasi jikalau ada ancaman-ancaman atau threats yang mungkin mengancam anak-anak. Dan juga setelah itu parents juga dapat menerima parents tips untuk bagaimana mereka bisa meningkatkan kecerdasan digital anaknya.
So what's actually important thing is that we have the world biggest data bank after we ran the DQ Every Child. So after that, we did the intensive data analysis and we developed the digital citizenship test, which is going to be actually the shorter version because DQ World takes a long time. And we make a shorter version so people to take the DQ digital citizenship test to understand about their DQ score, and which I believe that you can have it in Indonesia as well in our partnership with you. But how we develop is actually based on the DQ World, and it has the bigger data set. But this is actually a good tool for you to understand about the level of digital citizenship of your children. At the same time, you can actually identify the type of your digital citizenship. This is actually a smaller version that we did with at the 2022 Safer Internet campaign. But you can see that your children can be one of these five actually the types. So you can check by looking at the digital citizenship. You can understand whether you have very well around the digital citizenship, which is about the last part. They have a skill, they use, but not excessively, but they are actually exposed to the cyber risk. And you can see that the worst part is about carefree, right? They have a low digital skills, but they are exposed to a lot of cyber risk, even though they may not use a lot of digital use. It's interesting that there are a lot of students actually, they use about the same amount, right? You can see that carefree and ordinary, they use the same amount, but you can see there is the digital risk exposure is different, right? So you can see, like those patterns, what is defining pattern that we find is about parenting. It's not just about how much children they use online. It is about how much principle that you have in your household can actually decide, can help your children to be less exposed to cyber risk. So this is quite an important thing I wanted to share. And utilizing DQ digital citizenship test, this is just a starting point for you to understand your children's digital readiness. But I think it is important for you to have the healthy digital parenting in your house, as well as foster digital citizenship through education.
Baik, oke. So, versi yang kami kembangkan di sini adalah versi yang lebih singkat dibandingkan dengan DQ World, namun juga menggunakan prinsip yang sama, cukup untuk dapat mengidentifikasi tipe atau kemampuan digital seperti apa yang dimiliki oleh anak-anak kita, dan apakah mereka sudah dapat membangun digital citizenship dengan secara baik. Kalau kita melihat di sini ada 5 macam, your type of digital citizen. Lalu yang kita lihat yang paling berbahaya adalah carefree, di mana mereka tidak dibatasi, anak-anak yang tidak dibatasi exposure terhadap internetnya, dan dia bisa melihat apa saja. Tapi kalau kita perhatikan di sini, ordinary juga sebetulnya memiliki time exposure yang mirip dengan carefree. Perbedaan yang ada di antara tipe digital citizen ini adalah parenting. Adalah di mana orang tua benar-benar menjadi tokoh atau fasilitator yang dapat membatasi anak-anaknya di dalam penggunaan sosial media dan juga dapat membantu anak-anak untuk dapat lebih memperoleh kecerdasan digital tersebut. Karena itu sangat penting untuk menetapkan peraturan di dalam rumah dan juga sangat penting bahwa orang tua terlibat di dalam membangun kecerdasan digital anak-anak.
So this is my book that actually share about what I think about the importance as a parent and how we build the digital citizenship. But I am very honored to be part of this discussion. And I like to actually work with you further to help you to build the good digital citizenship and digital intelligence frameworks for Indonesia. And I want to just stop here and then have more discussion rather than me kept talking. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Park. Dr. Park menawarkan untuk bagaimana kita bisa bekerja sama untuk membangun digital citizenship ini di Indonesia. Seperti itu ya. Thank you, Dr. Park.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Park. That was a very interesting and informative talk. This webinar really opened my eyes and helped me realize how our children shift from body to mind to spirit. And with you showing the ranking of Indonesia's online safety as well as social media and gaming activity guidance is close to nothing. Like, there's a real need for us to really take care of our children. Because as you have mentioned, children use more of this digital media. However, it doesn't always mean that they know more about it. The cyber pandemic, cyberbullying, gaming and social addiction, the risky content that the internet is exposing our children is very high. And indeed, as a parent, it is our time to act now. And by doing so, we minimize the risk and maximize the potential positive effects of the digital era. And it's very, very helpful, very relatable, Dr. Park. So thank you so much for that one. Okay, everyone, we are now down to our question and answer segment of our event today regarding digital literacy. And we have prepared 4 very important questions for our guest speaker today. Now, we sure you also have a lot of questions for her. Now, if our questions prepared are different from yours or will not be able to be answered through these questions, you are free to ask some more later on as long as our time permits. You can just type in your question in our YouTube group chat, and please have them ready. Either in Bahasa Indonesia or in English, that would be fine. You can just directly type them, and we will try our best to answer all of them. Okay, so should we start? Okay, so should we start? All right, so the first one is how to educate children about uploading digital media materials or digital materials on
So you can see that the digital footprint is as I explained it before. This is understanding basic nature of online communications. They need to understand it is once they put online something, it seems like fun, but later there are many things that they will regret. So, and then the problem of online communication is that they cannot delete that easily. So it can go viral with or without their intention. And even if they want to delete somewhere, they will not have a control over whether they can delete this content or not. So this is very basic things that children have to understand. It's like a footprint that is very likely never get away from. So that can also affect their future. So there's a CEO of Google, ex-CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt once said, long time ago, what he said in the interview is that, this young generation, if they want to get a job later, they may have to delete or they have to change their digital identity. That's that serious. So there are also incidents in the few university applications in Harvard. They actually reject some of applications that already approved to be in the university because these teenagers upload the content that is very inappropriate. So if you see this, if you understand this dynamic of basic online communication, of importance of digital footprint, they will not upload the digital content that they can regret later. So this is something that we need to educate very first thing. So what they can upload, what they should not upload, what they cannot upload has to be very, very clearly well defined and help them to understand its impact about themselves, about their future, and their friends and their friends' future. So this is something that you have to teach first. Yeah.
Baik, bagaimana caranya mengedukasi, mengupload materi digital pada anak kecil? Tentunya sebagai orang tua perlu sekali untuk menekankan kepada anaknya apa saja yang dapat mereka upload dan apakah mereka akan menyesalinya di kemudian hari. Karena apa saja yang direkam secara digital tidak akan dengan mudah dapat dihapus seperti rekam jejak ya. Jadi ada kejadian yang dibahas oleh Dr. Yuhyun Park bahwa ada University Harvard kemudian hampir menerima mahasiswa, namun karena ada rekam jejaknya di masa lampau yang mungkin tidak baik, lalu kemudian mereka tidak jadi diterima di universitas tersebut. Lalu ini juga dapat berpengaruh pada saat nanti anak itu tumbuh dan kemudian dia sudah saatnya untuk mencari pekerjaan. Jadi rekam jejak digital akan sangat mempengaruhi digital identity seseorang, karena itu perlu ditekankan oleh orang tua apa saja yang bisa mereka upload di sosial media dari sejak mereka kecil. Apakah mereka akan menyesalinya di kemudian hari dan apakah sesuatu itu perlu atau tidak perlu?
All right. Yeah, definitely. Once you upload it, you can never be sure that it's entirely deleted. So it will stay there for a very long time. It would be like a wrong move, especially if you're aiming for a specific position later on. There could always be like chances of that rising again and being seen by a lot of people. Thank you so much for enlightening us with that one, Dr. Park. And for the second question, we have here, what is good screen time management? So again, the question is, what is good screen time management for our children?
So screen time is becoming quite interesting topic because children now learn especially after COVID, learn through internet, right? So they are always online. It's something that it is very difficult to control. So when we say screen time, we usually try to restrict screen time for entertainment use. So when they use the video viewing, social media, and video gaming, right? These are, we want to consider as a screen time for children. The issue is that the screen time for entertainment use and screen time for learning is now mixing, right? When they're doing the Zoom class, in the right, they have an iPad looking at another YouTube video, right? They do the homework in one screen and then they actually do the TikTok in another screen. So this is very, very difficult for children. And you have to, as a parent, understand that it is a difficult for parents, not just for parents, it's also for children, So it is important for them to not to like shut down. It is not impossible to shut down this day. So we cannot parents cannot take away device anymore, right? Before it was very different. After school, you do the homework on paper, and so okay, while you do the paper, doing the homework in the paper, don't watch YouTube. You could say that, but now no longer. It is very difficult. Right, everything is on the cloud. So number one, parents need to be empathetic and about the situation. It is not very easy for children. So that's very number one things that you have to understand. Number two, you have to help them to have the self-regulation. That's more important focus rather than, okay, is it 1 hour or 2 hours? Is it possible for me to, my goal is to empower my children with self-regulation rather than they keep 1 hour time, they keep 2 hour time, right? Self-regulation means what? They know how to actually shut down if it is necessary. So we want to talk about the multiple dimension, but multitasking is one of them. As I said, when they do the homework, they watch video, it's going to be never fun for video and not good for your study. So parents and children, they themselves need to understand what is good for them so they can make a decision to shut down the screen. And even though they know, it is very difficult to shut down. It's easier to shut down study rather than shut down the TikTok, right? So you have to understand reality. So you have to give them a discipline to make a right decision. And then even if it is hard, you have to discipline very early. So this self-regulation training has to start from very early on. And children have to understand about the effect of their brain, effect of their health when they are exposed to long screen time, right? So it's like I hate to say this, we start to do about anti-smoking around 8 years old, because that is a time that easy to fix their normality. So when they have understanding on the why tobacco is bad for my health, they just naturally do not want to get near to it. So it's likewise, it's better for them to cognitively understand why this is bad for themselves, bad for their health. So it is not about the good kid or bad kid. It is about your health and your development. So once children understand this, then they have a power to control their screen time. Still is difficult because YouTube algorithm and TikTok algorithm is so powerful to get them to on the screen. So basically, they have to understand this whole thing. So that's what we teach in the DQ Digital Citizenship, about effect of the digital technology and what is actually the YouTube and all this algorithm try to do to stay online. And because of that, what is the effect of that? So having those understanding is very important. And then after that, keep them have the time management skills to get this self-regulation. So this is how I would approach, rather than, okay, 1 hour, 2 hours a day. That can never work.
Thank you, Dr. Park. Bagaimana screen time management yang baik? Setelah COVID, sebenarnya ini menjadi tricky question karena semua dilakukan banyak sekali secara online zaman ini. Pada zaman dulu sebelum COVID sudah cukup jelas jikalau mengerjakan pekerjaan sekolah itu bentuknya paper, bentuknya kertas. Namun sekarang semuanya sudah dilakukan secara online, baik itu belajar maupun juga entertainment. Lalu isunya sekarang adalah pasti sebagai orang tua ingin membatasi waktu atau screen time yang digunakan anak untuk entertainment. Namun bagaimana caranya? Karena zaman sekarang semuanya sudah mix, sudah bercampur. Mereka bisa saja membuka entertainment di saat mereka belajar at the same time. Jadi ini susah, menjadi lebih sulit, bukan hanya bagi orang tua, namun juga bagi anak-anak. Ini yang perlu dipahami oleh orang tua, bahwa kita juga perlu berempati terhadap kesulitan yang dihadapi oleh anak-anak kita zaman sekarang ini. Daripada lebih membatasi hanya sekadar berapa jam, 1 jam atau 2 jam untuk entertainment atau screen time online ini, lebih baik kita membangun self-regulation kepada anak-anak kita. Lebih baik kita membangun disiplin diri, mengajarkan mereka bagaimana caranya supaya mereka mampu untuk bisa shutdown, bisa menghentikan aktivitas online mereka, terutama untuk entertainment, di saat mereka memerlukannya. Anak-anak perlu untuk mengetahui atau mempelajari disiplin dari mereka sejak mereka masih kecil. Ya, mereka harus mengerti efeknya atau dampak yang akan dihasilkan dalam jangka panjang jikalau mereka terlalu banyak screen time, bahwa itu tidak sehat juga untuk mereka. Seperti kampanye untuk mencegah merokok, demikian juga dengan screen time, orang tua perlu untuk dapat membekali anaknya dengan kesadaran bahwa memang terlalu banyak screen time, terlalu banyak di depan sosial media itu tidak baik, sehingga mereka bisa membangun disiplin diri. Dan pada saat mereka diberikan pengertian secara kognitif, kenapa itu tidak baik bagi mereka, kita berharap bahwa mereka akan mempunyai kemampuan untuk bisa memanage waktu mereka dengan lebih baik. Ya, jadi sebaiknya orang tua itu memberikan empowerment, encourage empowerment, dan bukan hanya mendikte atau membatasi beberapa jam yang harus mereka sediakan untuk online setiap hari.
All right. Thank you so much for that very informative and helpful tip, Dr. Park. The third question that we have here is how to teach the consequences of a digital footprint. Now, again, how do we teach our children the consequences of whatever we are uploading in there, basically our digital footprint?
Sure. Can we go to also, can I see all the questions so I can actually answer together?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we only have prepared 4. So we have here how to teach the consequences of the digital footprint. And then the last question is to know how is the data security of test participants in the DQ assessment. So whether it would be secure or how will it work?
Sure. So so the third question I already actually answered. I think I already answered in the first question combined with the first question. Yes, it's important for children to understand the impact of digital footprint, but at the same time, like how their digital footprint can be used for the unintended use in cyberbullying and cyber attacks, social engineering, and more. So this is something that they have to understand and learn. And number 4 question is about the so DQ is compliance to the GDPR principle, so which is currently like most strict data privacy protections internationally. So we have everything that the GDPR mandates. Also, we abide by. So when there's actually user and the second thing is about the we don't do the third party actually data sharing, and we don't do any commercial activities related to user data. So the user data will be strictly confidentially used only for the research purpose. But even for the researchers will not understand about the individual personal data. They will only see the aggregated data. So you do not need to worry about the data security from the DQ part. And second thing is that, our principle is to share children's outcome only to the parents. And when parents permit, we share with the schools, but that is given that the parents' permission. So I think related to security-wise, DQ aim to strive to keep the highest standard internationally, and we'd like to build a trust based on that. Thank you.
Baik, untuk jawaban atas pertanyaan yang ketiga, cara mengajarkan konsekuensi dari jejak digital, sepertinya Dr. Yuhyun Park tadi sudah menjelaskan juga di dalam talk sebelumnya, yaitu kita harus ingat bahwa setiap rekam jejak itu atau footprint yang ditinggalkan di sosial media atau jejak digital itu tidak selamanya bisa dihapus. Jadi anak-anak juga perlu mengetahui atau mengingat bahwa apapun yang diunggah mungkin ke sosial media atau rekam jejak digital ini dapat dipergunakan untuk atau berpotensi dipergunakan untuk cyberbullying ataupun juga cyber war. Jadi ini juga yang harus diperhatikan, bukan hanya itu kemungkinan bisa disesali di kemudian hari, karena apalagi jika jejak rekam digitalnya tidak terlalu baik, mungkin mempengaruhi pada saat anak yang bersangkutan harus mendaftar ke university atau mendaftar untuk pekerjaan tertentu. Namun juga untuk penggunaan zaman sekarang itu dapat berpotensi untuk dipergunakan secara negatif untuk cyberbullying ataupun cyber war. Mengenai jawaban atas pertanyaan yang keempat, yaitu bagaimana keamanan data peserta tes dalam DQ assessment. Dr. Yuhyun Park actually memberikan asuransi bahwa semuanya akan dianggap confidential atau rahasia, bersifat rahasia, dan hanya akan menggunakan data-data yang diperlukan untuk research mereka, hanya obligated atau data-data yang resmi atau data-data yang memang diperlukan untuk research tersebut. Dan orang tua juga tidak perlu khawatir, karena mereka mengikuti standar privacy protection, dan juga mereka bermaksud untuk dapat membangun kepercayaan ya dengan orang tua sekalian. Mereka hanya akan membagikan data yang diperlukan mengenai anak tersebut dengan orang tua. Boleh diberikan ke sekolah, tapi dengan persetujuan orang tua anak yang bersangkutan. Jadi tidak perlu khawatir akan keamanan data di DQ assessment tersebut.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Park. So I think we're still good for one more question. We have one more from our viewers. So the question is from Joyce: how to set up a wise mindset to teenagers in a good way. So again, how to set up a wise mindset to teenagers in a good way.
This is a, if anybody can solve this problem, then they will get a Nobel Prize, I think. Yes. This is the ultimate goal of education, I believe, right? It's not just digital citizenship. So if I can share my, the humble observation is about the, from just digital citizenship perspective. Teenagers are smart, they're smart. So one thing that we need to understand is about the wisdom is knowledge is about what, right? Understanding is about why I have to do it. So what do I need to understand? That's knowledge. Understanding is why do I have to do this, right? And wisdom is how shall I do this, right? This is like make a decision and actually go to the action. So if you think about the today's world that teenagers are currently living, they have so many information come to their radar. It's not like our generations. They have so many different channels come to information, they come to them, right? So wise about go to almost how is they need to have a filter in their mind, right? So filter can have a lot of different filters. So what DQ Digital Citizenship tried to give is about the right filter. Number one filter is going to be the value, right? So value is about their value system. Is this a right thing to do? Is a good thing to do? Is about the value judgment. And number two is about is knowing whether this fact is correct or not. So that is more about knowledge part, right? With all this, so what are the filters? Value filters, knowledge filters, right? And discernment filter, which is about, okay, based on this is correct things to do, and this is the right things to do, shall I do it or not? This is beneficial for myself and others. So going through this different filter is going to the wisdom. So how can we build this filter in our teenagers? Knowledge is, we can teach about the digital citizenship. This, the several things that I mentioned is about the knowledge. And why this digital parenting is important is about you are the one who can put the value in your children, which is going to be the biggest filter. So for teenagers to be successful or not is going to be very much dependent on your value system and your parenting. So which is going to be quite scary, but actually at the same time, and your parenting can be more powerful than any other measures or education in today's world. So take back your power, and parents, don't get intimidated by the technology. And it is very important for you to put the wisdom in your teenager's heart. That's all I can say at this moment.
Baik. How to set up a wise mindset to teenagers in good way. Bagaimana cara menanamkan mindset atau cara pandang yang bijaksana kepada anak-anak kita dengan tepat gitu ya. Menurut Dr. Yuhyun Park, jikalau kita bisa menjawab ini sebenarnya kita bisa mendapatkan Nobel. Namun Dr. Yuhyun Park mencoba menjawabnya dengan dari sudut pandang digital citizenship tadi. Bagaimana caranya? Ya, kita harus menyadari bahwa anak-anak kita, terutama jikalau mereka sudah remaja, mereka adalah pribadi yang sebenarnya cerdas, smart. Mereka mengetahui akan banyak hal dan mereka terekspos dengan banyak hal ya, banyak informasi yang dapat mereka dapatkan setiap harinya. Jadi kita perlu menyadari atau membawa mereka kepada bukan hanya sekadar knowledge of what, tapi lebih ke arah understanding, yaitu the why, mengapa perlu melakukan sesuatu, and eventually nanti the wisdom, why I have to do this or why I don't have to do this. Jadi kita mempunyai kebijaksanaan dalam memilih apakah sesuatu itu perlu dilakukan atau tidak. Untuk itu, remaja memerlukan filter atau saringan-saringan. Bagaimana cara memberikan mereka filter yang tepat? Yaitu dengan mencoba mendidik mereka supaya mereka mempunyai hikmat atau kebijaksanaan mereka sendiri. Kita harus membangun discernment mereka. Caranya adalah dengan parenting. Kita sebagai orang tua perlu untuk menanamkan values atau nilai-nilai moral ke dalam anak-anak kita sejak dini, sehingga ini yang akan menjadi biggest filter buat mereka. Kalau mereka sudah ditanamkan moralnya, kita sebagai orang tua sudah melakukan bagian kita, mereka akan dapat kebijaksanaan tersebut, dapat membangun kebijaksanaan mereka sendiri, sehingga mereka akan lebih siap menjadi warga negara digital. Ya, mereka akan lebih dapat membangun digital citizenship mereka dengan lebih baik. Ya, jadi sebagai orang tua, mari kita ambil kembali power tersebut, ambil kembali kekuatan tersebut, dan juga marilah kita menanamkan kebijaksanaan tersebut di hati anak-anak kita.
Right, indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Park, for this talk. We have so many takeaways from your talk, from your discussion this morning. I'll be sure to remember these 3 principles to help my students and also our children. I know that we have to set the boundaries. We have to also be engaged in our children's digital life, and also to create that family network so that they can also help monitor our children and help them educate. Thank you so much. And for all our viewers, if you have further questions, feel free to reach out to our social media accounts at BPK Panabra Jakarta and our official website. And we will try our best to respond as quick as we can. Anyways, everyone, that would be all the time that we have for today. And thank you so much for all your support and participation in our event today. Thank you so much, Dr. Yuhyun Park, for gracing us with your presence today and with all the insights that you have shared to us. We hope that this webinar will help enlighten us in guiding our children as well as ourselves in this digital era. And to close our program today, may we request Ibu Yuni to lead us in prayer?
Baik, selamat siang. Mari Bapak Ibu kita tutup acara ini di dalam doa. Kami bersyukur ya Tuhan atas pemeliharaan-Mu di dalam kehidupan kami. Kami juga bersyukur Engkau sudah mengirimkan Dr. Park untuk berbagi pengetahuan tentang digital intelligence. Bapak, kami juga bersyukur untuk kegiatan webinar ini yang boleh berlangsung. Semoga dengan materi-materi yang disampaikan oleh Dr. Park dalam webinar ini membekali para orang tua siswa BPK Panabra Jakarta untuk mendidik dan mengontrol anak-anak di dalam zaman yang serba digital ini. Bapa di dalam surga, kami naikkan doa ini dan kami alaskan hanya di dalam nama Tuhan Yesus Kristus. Amin.
Amen. Thank you so much, Bu Yuni, for the closing prayer. And we have been your host, everyone. My name is Carl, together with Miss Angela. And we will see you next time. Thank you again so much, Miss Dr. Park. And everyone, have a great weekend. God bless. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Tahapan penerimaan siswa baru online BPK Penabur untuk siswa asal BPK Penabur Jakarta. Buka web penerimaan siswa baru BPK Penabur Jakarta, kemudian klik Enroll Now. Pilih Ya untuk siswa asal BPK Penabur Jakarta. Login dengan menggunakan username dan password yang diberikan oleh sekolah. Username adalah nomor SPJ siswa. Pilih registrasi calon siswa. Pilih tahun pelajaran yang sesuai. Isi data nomor telepon dan email yang aktif. Kemudian, pilih sekolah tujuan. Lakukan pembayaran formulir pendaftaran sesuai nomor virtual account yang tertera. Setelah melakukan pembayaran, klik status pembayaran untuk memastikan pembayaran yang sudah dilakukan. Kemudian, kembali ke halaman utama. Klik data calon siswa untuk melengkapi data dan upload berkas kelengkapan sesuai syarat pendaftaran. Setelah semua terisi, cetak form pendaftaran dan surat pernyataan. Tanda tangani surat pernyataan di atas materai Rp10.000. Kemudian, upload surat pernyataan yang telah ditandatangani di atas materai di tautan yang sudah disediakan. Selesai! Pendaftaran dapat diproses apabila berkas pendaftaran diupload lengkap sesuai dengan syarat pendaftaran. Calon siswa dinyatakan diterima apabila memenuhi syarat dan lolos seleksi penerimaan yang diadakan oleh BPK Penabur Jakarta. Terima kasih. Tahapan penerimaan siswa baru online BPK Penabur untuk siswa luar BPK Penabur Jakarta. Buka web penerimaan siswa baru BPK Penabur Jakarta, kemudian klik Enroll Now. Pilih Tidak untuk siswa luar BPK Penabur Jakarta. Lakukan registrasi alamat email dan password yang akan digunakan untuk melakukan pendaftaran. Verifikasi alamat email melalui link yang dikirim ke email yang sudah diregistrasikan. Login dengan username dan password yang sudah diverifikasi. Pilih registrasi calon siswa. Pilih tahun pelajaran yang sesuai. Isi data dan sekolah tujuan. Lakukan pembayaran formulir pendaftaran sesuai nomor virtual account yang tertera. Setelah melakukan pembayaran, klik status pembayaran untuk memastikan pembayaran yang sudah dilakukan. Kemudian, kembali ke halaman utama. Klik data calon siswa untuk melengkapi data dan upload berkas kelengkapan sesuai syarat pendaftaran. Setelah semua terisi, cetak form pendaftaran dan surat pernyataan. Tanda tangani surat pernyataan di atas materai Rp10.000. Kemudian, upload surat pernyataan yang telah ditandatangani di atas materai di tautan yang sudah disediakan. Selesai! Pendaftaran dapat diproses apabila berkas pendaftaran diupload lengkap sesuai dengan syarat pendaftaran. Calon siswa dinyatakan diterima apabila memenuhi syarat dan lolos seleksi penerimaan yang diadakan oleh BPK Penabur Jakarta. Terima kasih.
Hello, my name is Mr. Myers, Head of School for Panabra International. I'm happy to announce that registration for Panabra International academic year 2023 and 2024 is now open. You may register your child to be a part of the joyful learning experience at Panabra International. You may say, what is the joyful learning experience at Panabra International? The joyful learning experience at Panabra International gives each child the experience of learning that is not only challenging, informative, but also fun. Learning is to be a lifelong process. Learning is to be enjoyable. At Panabra International, our teachers are trained and prepared to make the learning process a journey of joy. For when learning is fun, memories are a lifetime. So come, be a part of our family. Come join Panabra International.